Hello, welcome again. We are covering the topic centrifugal compressor for civil services mains, IFS and GATE aerospace exam, and we have started one question based on the what we have covered, that is work done, stagnation temperature rise, impeller depth and angles at the inlet of impeller eye. Okay, now we'll solve C part of that question. The C part is your to estimate the axial depth of the impeller channel at the periphery of the impeller. And the data given are power input vector, slip vector, rotational speed, rotor diameter of impeller, eye tip diameter, eye root diameter, mass flow rate, stagnation, inlet stagnation temperature, inlet stagnation pressure, isentropic efficiency. So these data were given. Okay. So now to find out the C part, that is axial depth of impeller channel. So so we have to understand what is your axial depth. So this is your centrifugal compressor and this is your impeller, and this is for exit of the impeller, and uh, in the direction perpendicular to the page, the depth of the axial depth of the impeller is defined. So, so this is perpendicular to the page. So area of flow is your phi into diameter of impeller into depth of impeller at the exit. Okay, so that is the area of the flow of the impeller at the outlet, and the flow is leaving radially, so mass flow rate is phi into d into depth of impeller into CR1 radial velocity. So here the flow enters the impeller axially and then changes its direction to radial direction, and some velocity is imparted by the impeller also to the flow, but it leaves the impeller in radial direction. So mass flow rate can be said as phi into d into depth of impeller into this radial velocity. Because radial velocity is perpendicular to this area. Okay. Now the radial velocity at the exit of the impeller is not known. Okay. And in this we will assume that the radial velocity is equal to axial velocity, so that separation of flow can be avoided in the impeller. Otherwise, if there is some decrease in velocity of the flow in the radial direction, then there can be flow separation. So that to avoid this, the radial velocity at the exit is assumed as axial velocity at the entrance. So at the entrance we have assumed that axial velocity is 143 meter per second, so it will be 143 meter per second. Okay. And creep factor is given as 0.9, so CW2 will come out as 0.9 into 455, that is 410 meters. So what is CW2? CW2 is burn component at the exit of the turbine. So this is your CW2 and this is your CR2, or in actual diagram it is CW2 and this is your CR2, and CW2 is 0.9 of U, or slip factor of U, so that will come out as 410. Now CW2 is known, CR2 is known, so we can calculate C2. So C2 will be at 143 square plus 410 square root. Okay. So why we are calculating C2? Because we need density also. Okay. So we need density also to find out, to equate it equal to mass flow. So at exit, we want to calculate density, then first we will calculate dynamic temperature. So that is C2 square by 2Cp, so it will be a 93.8. And now to find out pressure, because density can be calculated by knowing exit temperature, exit pressure, then using state equation. So now efficiency of the compressor is given as 0.78. Okay, so total losses in the compressor are, so this is efficiency. Efficiency means how much we can utilize. If the efficiency is 0.78, we can utilize 78% of the total amount, and 22% are losses. Okay, so now we are assuming that half of the, as there are two parts, one is your impeller and other is your diffuser. We are assuming that half of the losses take place here and half in the diffuser part. So as we are concerned with this part here, so up to that the losses will be here 0.5 into 1 minus efficiency, that is 0.1. Okay, so this will be your losses. Okay, or if these are the losses up to impeller, then the efficiency is 0.89. Okay, in the first part we calculated pressure ratio like that: P03 by P01 is equal to 1 plus efficiency into T03 minus T01 by T01. Okay, so here T03 is same as T02. Okay, so T03 is same as T02, and efficiency is your 0.89. Okay, so efficiency here is 0.89. So we'll keep this same. That is T02 minus T01 or T03 minus T01, that is same thing, but efficiency will change because we are taking efficiency up to impeller. Okay, so we'll find out the pressure ratio, that will come out as 1.58 to 3.5. So that is your stagnation pressure ratio. Across the impeller, as there are some losses in the diffuser, so P03 will be different as compared to P02. So P02 by P01 is this one. So now we have found out dynamic temperature, that is 93.8, and if we subtract it from the stagnation temperature at the exit of the compressor static temperature. In question, inlet stagnation temperature is given, that is 295, and we have calculated the temperature rise also, so that is 193. Okay, so from this we can calculate T02 or T03. So that is 193 plus 295, that is 488 Kelvin. So T02 is this, and if we subtract dynamic temperature from T02, then it will be static temperature, that is T2, and then we can apply isentropic relation, that is P2 by P02 is equal to T2 by P02 is equal to 3.5, and then we can find out P2 by P02 ratio. So that is this quantity. Okay, and P02 by P01 we have calculated. So from this, knowing P01, that is given, that is 1.1 bar, and using this P2 by P02 into P02 by P01, this we have calculated. So P02 is known and P2 can be found out, that is 2.58. So now P2 is known, T2 is known, we can calculate density. So density is just 2.28 kilogram per meter. Okay. So now after calculating density and after calculating CR2, that is after assuming CR2, we can calculate area, and area is your pi into d into depth of impeller. So depth of impeller comes out as 0.0176 or 0.0176 meter or 1.76 centimeter.